Welcome back to iRacing Basic Training. iRacing.com hosts some intense competition. Every now and then, you're going to run into some trouble, literally. In this chapter, we'll talk about how to handle these situations and keep you from making a bad situation worse. Part of having an enjoyable and successful iRacing career is effectively dealing with any bad circumstances you encounter along the way. This is something that even the most experienced drivers can be frustrated by. Throughout your career, you'll have many more disappointing results simply because of the nature of racing. Finishing second place in a 40-car field in the official iRacing Daytona 500 is an incredible result that you should be proud of. But sometimes even results like this can be disappointing, knowing that you were only one move away from winning a big race. One of the most important things I stress is to stay balanced. Understand there will be times when you make a series of mistakes that lead to disaster. After countless mistakes, I've come to understand that online racing is a challenging sport and hobby. When I handle disappointments appropriately, I'm training myself how to react in the future. On the contrary, if I handle that situation poorly, I'm more likely to make the same mistakes when confronted with a similar situation in the future. The greatest drivers rarely lose their cool and quit a race early. They normally put all their focus on driving and getting the best finish possible. You don't see their name pop up in the chat frequently, unless it's before or after the race. Make it a habit to do the same. The chat feature is for relaying important information, such as when you'll be pitting. Stick to short messages that can be mapped to your keyboard in the options menu. After a wreck, the best thing you can do is stay away from the keyboard and mute your microphone. Sometimes, drivers key up a response before they even lose control of their car. This is a very bad habit, and it takes away from their ability to focus on what's important. Remember, even though your race might have ended, there are many others who are still racing. If you're using the chat feature to quickly apologize, or tell another driver no problem, you're building a good reputation within the community. Sometimes, crashing is part of racing. When you're pushing the limits of so many different variables, including the finite speed of the internet, there's bound to be trouble from time to time. One of the most telling signs of a well-rounded racer is the response to adversity. When I'm involved in crashes that blow my engine, I escape out of the car as quickly as I can to get the car out of the way. I try my best to look at the replay without being biased. If it turns out that it was my fault, I whisper an apology to the driver as quickly as I can. To whisper to another driver, you simply type a / and then the driver's number or their last name. I like to keep the message brief and send it when they're driving down a straightaway. If they're still racing, they can read it fast and not mess up a turn trying to read my apology. If you feel like you were hit by another driver intentionally, you do have the right to protest. In order for it to be well-founded, your explanation of the incident must be accompanied by a replay. If I feel the need to protest, I always save the replay and watch the incident the next day. With a clear mind, you can make better decisions. Anger will only impair your judgment. If you handle adversity well, you never know who you might impress. There are many teams in the iRacing community that are always on the lookout for new members. Much like the physical world, if you're known for being a clean, respectful, and trustworthy driver, you're far more likely to find a team than a brash, over-aggressive driver, even if they're known for winning a lot of races. More often than not, teammates become friends. The more friends you make, the more enjoyable the experience becomes. I've personally met many of my friends and teammates, and it's always fun to put a face to a name. For Josh Berry, one of the most talented oval racers in iRacing, his performances impressed NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr. It quickly led to a late model opportunity with Junior Motorsports. Wyatt Gooden won an official iRacing Jetta Series and was invited to compete in the TDI Jetta Cup. After many race wins, he went on to compete in the USF 2000 Series. Because of iRacing, many others have gotten similar opportunities. This isn't a popularity contest, but if you show respect for your competitors, you will notice that there are many opportunities to build relationships and unique connections within iRacing's growing online community.